Nintendo had Mario, Sega had Sonic, and during the console wars of the 90s, Sony was ready to bring their own mascot into the fight. In 1996, Naughty Dog set out to explore the 3D platforming and show off the full power of the PlayStation. What they didn't know is that they were about to create something generational. So sit tight, because today we're playing Crash Bandicoot. Is there any more iconic main menu on the PS1 or soundtrack? I'm listening to opinions. You can see from my face that I'm astonished right there. The memories flooded my head in the spot. How can I begin to explain that this marsupial was the hero of our childhood? If you grew up with a PlayStation, of course. The game came out in the 96, but I didn't play it until around the 2003. The PS2 hadn't really made it to my country yet, so I rocked the PS1 pretty much until the 2010. There were a lot of platformers back then, but none of them felt as defined or polished as this one. It had a lot of personality, an engaging story, and visuals that stuck with you throughout the adventure. The kind of game you will still be thinking about while trying to fall asleep. All of that helped Crash become more than just a game character. He became a true icon of the late 90s and early 2000s. Fun fact, Crash wasn't just living on your memory card. He made it to McDonald's Happy Meals, Pizza Hut promotions, and even TV commercials where he would yell at Nintendo from a parking lot. Enough context, let's jump into the game. This is what your level selector looks like. Awesome. The adventure starts here, at the Insanity Beach, where we're thrown to our own devices with no explanations, but no doubts of that we're gonna have fun. My marsupialistic friend controls R, jump, and spin. That's it. Well, I guess you could count the check the inventory. And off we go to save the world from the evil scientist, Doctor Neo Cortex. As the story goes, Crash was just a regular marsupial, until Cortex started experimenting on animals, trying to build himself a mutant army. Crash was supposed to be his ultimate weapon, the general of his animal troops. But something went wrong. Instead of becoming Cortex's loyal soldier, Crash developed a mind of his own and bolted, which is why he washes up on the shore at the start of the game. Now it's up to us to stop Cortex's twisted plans and rescue Crash's girlfriend. In the adventure, we're gonna be mostly running forward, dodging other animals, and jumping over bottomless pits, platforming at its purest. Once we make it through all the chaos, we hop into this shiny portal at the end, level complete. There is a couple things I haven't mentioned yet, like the crates. Most of them are filled with extra lives or Wumpa fruit, which looks like someone mashed an apple and a mango together. Looks decent enough. They work like Mario coins. Collect 100, that's an extra life. Next, we got Aku Aku, the floating mask you've definitely seen somewhere before. He's the spirit of a witch doctor and basically Crash's guardian through all his adventures. Think of him like a Mario mushroom. Pick one up, you get protection. Grab 3, that's your Mario star. Simple. As the difficulty ramps up, the game actually becomes even more fun. Your skills get put to the test, and since you don't have unlimited lives, you really have to think twice before charging ahead like a maniac. Every jump starts to matter, and every mistake can send you right back to the beginning. To mix things up, the game throws some 2.5D levels every now and then. Same kind of obstacles, but from a different angle, literally. That shift in perspective adds a fresh challenge and can really mess with your depth perception if you're not careful. These levels are either great or the worst, there's no in between. Among the collectibles in the game, we've got Tawna tokens, those little coins with Crash's girlfriend face on them. If you collect 3, you get teleported to a bonus stage full of crates and extra lives. Sounds like a sweet deal until you realize how tricky it is. Oh, now here comes my main criticism of the game. There is no save feature. Autosave? Yeah, that was a fantasy back then. Well, you're zealous. How do you record your progress? Simple. You reach a bonus stage, you beat it, and then the game lets you save. You fail? Cool. Now you get to bond with those earlier levels all over again. Well, of course, that happens in the case of you losing all of your lives. During this playthrough, happened twice to me, and it's ruthless, to say the least. I wonder if this is intentional or just a slip-up. I do know that in sequels, this has been improved. We run forward, we run sideways, now it's time to run towards the screen, because guess what? We're being chased by a giant boulder. Like I said, they weren't short on ideas back in the 96. And honestly, I'm grateful. This variety is memorable and rare to see nowadays. Certainly, these levels are my favorite. They rely purely on player skill and nothing else. Only downside is maybe how scarce they are across the game. Purely based on video game logic, we have been clearing levels for a while now, so you know what that means. It's time to face the very first boss in Crash Bandicoot history, Papu Papu, the not-so-friendly chief of the island native tribe. Something I actually enjoy about the boss fights in this game, and there are a few, is that the game never tells you how to beat them. No hints, no tutorials, just pure trial and error. You learn by getting smacked. For example, Papu Papu here, you avoid his massive maze swings, and when he turns his back, bam, you bounce on his head. He's basically a living shield. You're not getting through that buffet armor. So we repeat this process a couple of times, and he's defeated. Oh, look at this dumb thing that happened. Papu is out, but since he was on his fallen animation, I'm guessing his hitbox still could do some damage. I was one shot, so back to the lobby I was sent. The game has been a solid 10 out of 10 so far. The only way it could possibly top itself is if, oh, I don't know, you got to ride a hawk through the jungle at full speed? That'd be ridiculous, right? I mean, who will even think of something that awesome? The best part about going back to these games I haven't touched in maybe 20 years is forgetting parts of it. It's like replaying the best parts for the first time all over again. Except now I'm better at jumping and my back hurts. It's great. It's just great. This is the only time we're seeing a mount in this game, but I do know that in sequels there is a lot more of these rides. You're zealous. Does the entire game takes place in the jungle? Calm down. There are 3 islands in total, and we're almost done with this one. Each new island brings a very different setting, so it's super clear that you're making progress. But before we get out of the jungle, we got one last obstacle, the island boss. Ripperoo, the blue kangaroo that I used to think he was a dog. One thing that really stands out in the first Crash is the boss design. They are weird, creative, and often appearing across the franchise, making them likable. The fight against Blue's Clues takes place on a floating 3x3 grid of stone tiles, surrounded by water that instantly kills you. Why? Because apparently Crash never learned how to swim. TNT crates drop from above, and your job is to activate them and pray he gets tagged by it. Do it 3 times and he's done. The fight is somehow both hard and easy at the same time. The pattern is chaotic, the timing is tight, but there might be a try that you just get it inside 30 seconds.
Oh, I got it. Nice.
And we're officially on the second island, which honestly happens to be my favorite one. This one got a whole different vibe. Ancient temples, deadly traps, all that good stuff. You can really start to see where Naughty Dog was heading with this kind of design. These are the same guys who later gave us Uncharted. At this point of the game, 2 things worth mentioning. First, the checkpoints. They start spreading out like they're on vacation and have you praying for one even though you're an atheist. Secondly, these bridge levels, which at first look very fun. Loose wooden planks, some enemies on the borders of the bridge, but they become a patient test really quick. Especially when they bring out this board that you cannot do anything about. And why can't he step on the loose planks and not break them, but I do? I'm pretty confident that Pumba weights way more than Crash. In the Wumpa Island, there is another boulder we run off from. This one is way faster, but I still enjoy it like a little kid.
Ball is too close to me. I don't like it.
Our stay in this archipelago is intense but short-lived. The island boss even throw us a little farewell party. How thoughtful. Enter Koala Kong, a jacked-up koala who looks like he skipped leg day forever. A character I honestly forgot existed, which says a lot. He's one of those early Crash villains who got quietly benched in later games. Nevertheless, he's part from the story of Crash Bandicoot. This guy's whole personality is throwing rocks. That's it. That's a boss fight. You just dodge like you're at a middle school dodgeball game, waiting patiently for one of his boulders to become ours. So you can finally return the favor and give him a taste of his own pebbles. Very poetic. Chicken Legs is down, and with that we're officially headed to the island where Cortex himself is hiding. Things are about to get a bit more cyberpunk, if you can believe that. Gone are the jungle vibes, now it's a science fair gone wrong. Now we're dealing with steel platforms, scorching hot pipes, and Cortex's personal collection of experiments that somehow all want us dead. Should be fun. I know the remastered version is out there, and even though I haven't personally touched it yet, from what I've seen, it looks great. Regardless of that, if you never played the original Crash Bandicoot in your lifetime, you absolutely should. These games have a way to teleporting you back to a much simpler time in gaming, and somehow despite all the technical limitations, they still manage to deliver an experience that feels more meaningful than a lot of what we get today. During the stream, there was a clear consensus among my 2 viewers that Slippery Climb is the worst level in the game, and honestly that's hard to argue. It's a 2.5D nightmare filled with enemies, moving platforms, and disappearing stairs that love to vanish just as you're about to land on them. One wrong step and you're plummeting all the way back down. Brutal stuff. Thing is, this wasn't even my biggest struggle. No, my actual wall came way earlier, level 9. We're talking maybe the first hour of the game, and I'm not even joking, I was stuck there for over 30 minutes, on a section with just a few simple metal box jumps. First time in a while that I actually feel like I'm not gonna get over it. But it was done. gun, and so was Slippery Climbs. Who else wants some? Pinstripe Patoru, a literal mobster marsupial rocking in a pinstripe suit and a Tommy gun. Yup, that's a thing. Honestly, the design is great. I wonder how dads back then didn't talk about this game being extremely violent, for having a rat literally shooting at you with a machine gun. So how do you defeat an anthropomorphic animal blasting a literal Tommy gun at you? Easy, just hide behind some conveniently bulletproof office furniture, combine that with the fact that his aim is pure stormtrooper tier, and you got enough time to close the gap and spin his mobster tail when he stops to reload. Another one of those fights that you have to figure it out by yourself, but a great one overall. Just when you think they might be running out of ideas, a level called Lights Out enters the fight, and they mean it. You need a literal source of light to see anything, and that role goes to Aku Aku. But surprise, his light is limited, so you cannot be playing on the clock. I just love to see when devs go all in with the creativity. Video isn't over yet, but thank you, Naughty Dog. At this point in the game, you feel invincible. You've tanked every trap, every fall, every enemy the islands threw at you, and you ask for more. Sure, Crash's girlfriend still needs rescuing, but before we play hero, there is a couple of people that need to pay with interest. First up, Dr. Nitrous Brio, Cortex right-hand man and the genius behind the ray gun that turns innocent animals into walking weapons. He's a scientist, which means this won't be a simple jump on the head and call it a day kind of fight. This guy has quite the arsenal, pursuing slime balls, chemical tubes thrown at you, and when nothing is working for him, he pulls a full-on Hulk transformation like he's been waiting his whole life for an excuse. Oddly enough, that's when you can get physical. Another hit by boss design. And it's on, the final stretch. We're officially in Neo Cortex's lab. Just a couple of suspiciously well-guarded hallways, a few last-minute traps, and some overly loyal lab assistants stand between us and the so-called villain of the tale. This might be just one of the most compact yet complex levels in the entire franchise. Somehow, every single obstacle type in the game managed to be squeezed into this short, chaotic sprint. With a mountain of patience, and more importantly, a mountain of lives, we made it. We paved our way to meet the man, the myth, the forehead, Neo Cortex. The evil scientist who proudly doubles down as an animal abuser now attacks us with lasers of every color. Some we can dodge, some we can't. The whole thing quickly turns into a Crash meets Cuphead boss battle. What I don't fully get is why we're suddenly on top of an airship. Don't get me wrong, it's epic. But how did we even get up here? Also, his castle is just casually burning in the background. I'm guessing we did that. I'm not a pyromaniac, but I gotta admit, that's kinda cool. For a final boss, it definitely gives off that surprisingly easy vibe. Until you realize how easy it is to mess up by focusing on the wrong things. Like trying to take a hit you can't. Technically, you can hurt him by spinning the green ray back at him, but he throws that about as often as he shows remorse. So by being cool, calm and collected, we get it finally done. We hear Crash celebrate victory one last time. And I know PETA will very much be proud. Crash is reunited with his girlfriend that's noticeably taller than him, as we celebrate saving the world for the first of many times in the history of Crash Bandicoot. We say goodbye to our marsupial hero as the airship rides into the sunset and the credits start rolling. Absolute masterpiece that I could not be happier to have finally finished. Thank you to everyone that showed up to support the stream. This is the second of many times that we're gonna see Crash in this channel. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and might help others find the video too. Reminder that you can follow me in my other socials where you can tell me your favorite animal. Thank you again for all the support, it's greatly appreciated, and thank you again for watching the video until this part. And with nothing else to say, good night.
Na sequência do trepa-trepa que ela fica muito louca. Quer dar uma rebolada, quer dar beijo na boca. Joga, 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 joga,